Hey guys, first up, I'm going to film a second video at Norm My Messy Hair. Today I'm putting as little effort into the day as possible because tonight I have a really late night of dance and it's a lot of dance. Considering it from 4:30 I think until 11:30, so it's gonna be tiring. But make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. I want to talk about dance and stuff, but first I want to give you my review on my Squad Hydro Flask. It came today and I made a video with it showing you I tested it and I want to give my honest reviews on it. It's amazing. It's amazing. And because when I ordered it, I went I'll use it a lot, I'm excited for it. It's genuinely amazing. And because, first up, when I first tested it, I had half a soda left, not even half a soda left. That's because, what I mean by that is my parents basically, they have a rule because they don't want me I'm completely eating and drinking sodas and just junk food all day, even though that it kind of happens but kind of not. So they put a limit and they only allow 2 sodas, and then I occasionally a special occasion will happen, or if we're gone on a trip or something, then I'll get a little extra. Plus, sometimes they'll allow an extra 2 or 3 sips. It's in the morning, and that's usually because of the fact that that's because I'm homeschooled, and right before I go to school, right before me and my dad go into the classroom with Sam, because Sam comes with us, and he just comes with us and make sure we're okay. And I don't want to open a soda and then stick it in the fridge, but I take my anemia pill in the morning with a soda. So what we do is I'll open one and I'll take the anemia pill, maybe 2 or 3 sips, just to really make sure there's no taste whatsoever in them. Even though it's not flavored and stuff. And then my dad will enjoy that soda that's open. So yeah. But anyways, I love my Squad Hydro Flask. When I had one soda, my first soda of the day, and there was not even half left. And I put it in the Squad Hydro Flask, and at this point the soda was already kind of not freezing cold anymore because I had been enjoying it for a while. And it fit, and things went really good. And then my only real concern about the Hydro Flask was if it's gonna fit a full 12-ounce soda thing, and it, because that's my amount, my 2 of them is what I do throughout the day. So I want it to fit at least one, and it fit one in it with extra room. So the thing is huge. It fits a full soda. I put the lid on it, that is something that I did was, since I using a straw, we have these metal straws with rubber tips, and which honestly, the straw on the rubber tips, I feel I enjoy it, but they get holes in them very easily, because I'm the type where I don't fully sip. I kind of do this and like bite on the straw a little bit, and so there's constant holes in like the straws. But it's fine, like it's not a big deal. We'll like just take the rubber tip off, flip it over, and then boom, it's fixed. Well, the hole's still there, it's just like in a different spot and it's not annoying anymore. It's a habit that I have, and then, yeah, like, I don't really know why I have it, but it's fine. It's not like a bad habit, and it's completely fine. But anyways, like, since I like doing that, what I do is I have a napkin on the coffee table since I like sit and watch YouTube and stuff, like on our couch. And so I like have a napkin on the coffee table or where like I lay the straw on it, and then like whenever I have like the hydrant flask with the lid and everything on, and it keeps things freezing cold. I love that. Because there are so many times throughout the day when I will enjoy a soda and then after a while it just gets warm. Like it's not like cold anymore, and then I'm like, oh, like I wish this was cold. This hydro flask like fix that. Like I love it. And then like when I'm like want to enjoy the soda, I twist the lid, I'll stick the straw and set the lid on the napkin, and then I enjoy my soda. Like I like it. It's a nice squad hydro flask. Love it, and it's huge, so it fits a lot in it. Stay hydrated. My hopes for it is that I'm hoping that it will somewhat encourage me to drink more water, because I'm the type where like water is just plain, and I don't like flavored water. Like no, I like the plain water. Like water and me are not the best friends, but as a dancer we should be. So my plan is I'm gonna try to like make drinking water more fun by just putting it in a squad hydro flask and being like, oh, no, I was like in a squad hydro flask, like in hopes that I can just tell myself it's soda and then like just drink more water even though it's just water. I'm hoping I can trick myself into drinking more water, because it's just plain. I want to talk about dance. And one thing is that I want to talk about my improvement, and like I will say I feel like I have changed as a dancer in a good way over like the past, like I want to say almost a year now. Like since I started worldwide, since I started hardcore taking dance classes, I feel like I've grown as a dancer. I feel like I don't always see it sometimes in class, and then every once in a while there will be a moment where I'll see it and then be like, whoa, like I remember when I was nowhere near this. And it's usually with flexibility. And every once in a while, like my facial and that sort of thing, like I'll like notice it there. Like, because when I first started, like I didn't, like whenever I danced, my dancing was pretty good, but my face was like blank. Like no facial expressions whatsoever. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I'm making like 3 or 4 different facial expressions. And then I'm looking at myself in my vanity mirror or like on the screen, like, because I can kind of see myself as a tiny square. And I'm like, no, you're not. Like, well, actually, not true. I never really thought, like, it always was in my mind, like, my face is blank right now. Like, I was aware of it, but part of my mind was kind of like, no, you're making, like, 4 facial expressions. And part of my mind is like, no, you're not. Like, your face is completely blank. You need to fix that. Like, and so that was, like, a problem when I had a very blank orange face. Then I worked on it, and like instantly, as soon as I really took notice of it and went like, this is a problem and I need to fix it and I need to fix it now. I fixed it right away. Like, it wasn't like even a second thought of, oh, this needs to be fixed. It was like, nope, I'm fixing it now. I'm not waiting. And showing that I can improve. And it instantly got fixed. But then some of the little things would like slip every once in a while. And then I'm like, nope, we're not letting that slip. We're going to do it all and we're going to make it look amazing. And we're not going to make mistakes. And so then I would like instantly took aware of that and fixed everything right away. And I don't really mess up too much, I feel like. On like the little, like in that way. Like every once in a while, like I'll mess up on something, but I won't even say that happens like all the time. Like I feel like there's dancers that like go and like they take a dance class and like they mess up sometimes. That's life. Life isn't perfect. And then there's some that like do it more often, some that don't do it as often. Like, and I'm one of the ones that like I feel like I don't mess up very often. And like, and if I do mess up, it's usually over like it's usually caused by something like, oh, like me, for an example, like if we were learning a combo and I messed up on a part of the combo, it's usually caused on by, I'm like, oh, like I didn't see what the teacher was doing or something for a second, or oh, I was so caught up in like making sure I had like the beginning part of it that like when we went to add on, I didn't see like the next like couple steps. Like it's usually caused by something. And then it's like easy fix. Like the only time that I really remember like messing up that like really was a mess up, and it was like I continuously made this mistake for like an entire class. And we were doing fan kicks at the bar, and it was with Alyssa. I enjoy Alyssa. Like, I don't know if she thinks I do or not because, like, sometimes we get to her and I'm, like, too tired to keep going. And then, like, but, like, I overall really do enjoy Alyssa. I feel like she's one of the ones that, like, she's not mean. She's very, very nice. But, like, she points out your correction. She makes you work for things. She doesn't hand it to you. Like, she makes you fix your correction and, like, improve. She pushes you in a really good way. But we were doing fan kicks at the bar, and our backs were up against the bar, and our arms were, like, on the bar. And, so basically what they were doing, so let me explain. What I was doing was, I was doing fan kicks, and I was ending, like, so with the fan kick, it like your leg goes up and then it like comes around. Now there's two ways of doing it, and yet the more common way, or the way that like everyone does them, is at some point in your fan kick, your legs or your thighs cross. Now like usually your like thighs cross like for like your thighs cross, your leg goes up, and then it lands next to your leg, like, so like crosses first instead of at the end. I was doing it the opposite way, and my thighs were crossing at the end, and so she like corrected me on that, and I was like, in fairness, I kind of like couldn't tell exactly what they were doing, and no one specified, so like, yeah, but luckily I fixed that, and cause I didn't really know, it was like one of, like, I didn't really know, like, exactly what was more common or what, like, so I just assumed it was the other way, not knowing, and I improved. I feel like I have definitely improved. Like, the thing that I feel like I see the most, like, every once in a while, like, I'll be like, wow, this has improved, is, like, flexibility. Like, yesterday, was, like, in dance class, and my right oversplit was a mat, which is a little bit higher up, like, a fold-up mat, like, a little bit higher up than just a dance block. And then I had a dance block on top of it. And my back thigh wasn't full, it was, like, close to the ground, but wasn't fully touching. And it was, like, and I literally, like, was so close to it, and I'm like, which your back thigh should touch the ground when you're in a, like, full oversplit. Like, I literally, like, it hit me. I'm like, I remember when I first started, I didn't even have a split, which an oversplit is harder to do. Like, apparently it's harder to do, but for me, sometimes I go back and forth. Sometimes it's harder, and like, everyone says it's harder, and it looks harder, I feel like. But also, sometimes it's easier for me, I don't know, like, it really depends on the day. Like, sometimes I do it, and it's like, oh, like, today's a little bit challenging, and then other times I do it, and I'm like, oh, this is easy. And I'm like, I remember when it wasn't easy. I remember not even having a split. So, like, it's really cool. Like, I get those moments, and then I'm like, oh, I improved. Like, that's what I want to talk about, is, like, me improving. Like, I feel like I have improved, and that's something that I feel like I improved more than what I credit myself sometimes. Like, what I mean by that is, like, every once in a while, like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I improved, like, but I won't think much on it. And then every once in a while, I look back and I'm like, I don't credit myself enough. Like, I don't look at the full picture sometimes. I just look at, like, oh, I improved. Like, kind of move on. And then sometimes I look at the full picture and I'm like, I improved a lot more than I thought I would out of, like, almost a year. And that's something to be proud of. Like, so, for me, I stopped undercrediting myself. I finally told myself one day, I'm like, I told myself, I'm like, you have improved so much. It's amazing. And it's something to be proud of, and you're undercrediting yourself, and you're not going to do that anymore. You're going to realize how much you improved, and you're just happy about it. Like, instead of just being like, oh yeah, I improved. But yeah, like, overall, I feel like there's so much that has improved in dance. And I'm really close to a heel stretch. I think I figured out the problem in my heel stretch. It's not that I don't have the flexibility for it, it's that I'm short. And I mean, is there's a thing called a heel stretch. Let me, like, I can actually show you. Like, that's basically your leg, like, you grab your heel and, like, you stretch it up. Now, when I do it, I usually only, because for a real, it's called a heel stretch, I think, because you grab your heel and you stretch. Like, I don't know. But, like, for so long, like, once I figured out what it actually was, I, like, literally asked me one day, she's like, can you go a little bit farther? And I'm like, I realized that my arm isn't, like, I'm literally, like, right now, like, putting, like, my arm, like, and my hand, like, right next to my leg, and my leg is, like, a little bit longer than my arm, like, a good amount. So, like, I'm like, I guess being short, this is one of those disadvantages. but it's life. I'll get there. I'll work on it. I'll continue like stretching. And because at the end of the day, I know I'm talented. And not being braggy when I say that, I'm just like, I feel like it's okay to make a video like this every once in a while. It's okay to look at like what has improved and be excited over that. It's okay to say, hey, I'm talented. There's a lot of talented people out there, and that's great. That's something that I'll say that is like probably one of the things I love most about myself is I don't get intimidated. Like, I mean, it's like this is something I'll say that like when I was doing Zoom classes, like I don't get psyched down is what I mean. And like what I mean is like when I was doing Zoom classes in the living room and sometimes on like a Sunday class or something, and my mom would like kind of in a way like she would like see like the screen and stuff, and like see everyone else and like the really talented people at certain stuff, and that would kind of like make her like think like she would literally say something to me. She is like I'm not mean or anything. She's just like hey, like you really gotta work on that stretching. And because there's a lot of talented kids, and I like could kind of tell that like seeing everyone else, like it was starting to psych her out, and like I make her like push me even more, which I love being pushed. I feel like it's not a bad thing to be pushed. It's not a bad thing, and when my mom tells me like, hey, you should really stretch today, like you should really work for it so you can improve. It's not a bad thing. She's just helping me because she knows that it's my dream. And she knows that, like, I have a good chance at making it happen. And that might upset people sometimes. I don't know if it upsets people, but I'm like, because, like, and so, for me, I will literally see, like, a lot of really good, talented dancers on there, and no one ever psychs me out. Like, it doesn't get in my head. Like, I'm the type where, like, I will literally, before class, like, when a couple people are on, or a lot of people, I will turn on my camera, and I will start doing some jumps, some turns, and just things that I'm really good at, just to psych everyone else out. And that sounds bad. Like it sounds bad, like, oh, I'm trying to psych people out. Like, I'm trying to get in their head and make them nervous. But that's dance. Dance is a competition, and in dance, it's a very common thing for someone to try to psych someone else out. And it's not considered rude in dance because dance is a competition. And when you're in dance class, everyone in that class is trying to compete to be the best in the class, to get called out by the teacher, or in a good way. Everyone at a competition, well, competition in the name. And it's called a dance competition, so it's a competition, like. And at a dance convention, everyone's competing to be noticed in a good way. Like, dance is a competition. Everything about it. Even in class, everyone trying to be the best in the class. And so, like, that's kind of like the thing. I feel like, but it works, like, for me, it's generally, I really enjoy it. Like, I feel like that part of why I love, like, dance class is because I have a competitive side. Like, part of me, like, when it comes to, like, I even just a family, like, game night or something, like, I have this competitive side to me, and I generally, like, let it come. Like, with dance, it's kind of my way of, like, letting that competitive side out without, like, without it being rude or anything. Like, I can literally, like, I think in my head, like, I'm in the zone, I'm ready to, be the best in the class. I'm ready to work for that. Work hard, like. And so, like, whenever there's a moment, I'll, like, see someone, like, on there, like, because that happens sometimes, where I'll, like, see someone on there that, like, is maybe a little bit tired or something, and, or maybe I'm tired at one point. I literally think in my head, I'm like, you're gonna push through, and you're gonna use this to your advantage. You're, like, you may be tired right now, but you are literally gonna push through and use it as power, and be even stronger. Just to, like, cause it's like, oh, like, those are the moments I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. But, like, those are the moments when I'm like, it's a chance for me to be stronger, and, like, kind of know that, like, someone else is not at their strongest point.